Andy Griffin here with Coach James Brown, head coach of the Snow Canyon Warriors. And Coach and I had a conversation yesterday before his game with Salem Hills. I said, "How you doing, Coach?" And his answer, "Well, we can't really say it here," but he was not happy. His team hadn't been playing well. But Coach, you guys really put it together yesterday and played, I think, a complete game. Your inside game was working. Your three-point shooters were hitting their shots. And it was really, maybe helped you sleep a little better, huh?
Yeah, I got a lot more sleep last night than the night before. My kids are good kids and they work hard and they do some things, but we had to go back to thinking about defense and get that side of the floor taken care of, first of all, and then the offense came. And, it's a lot funner game when shots are going in and playing defense too. And it's always hard when all you're doing is playing defense, but you can't score like you'd like to.
It's been kind of a sad, strange year for Snow Canyon. Started with KJ Harrison, who lost his life last summer on a scouting expedition at Grand Canyon. And then this summer you had guys get seriously injured, Gabe Jensen and Chandler Gines. And of course, you had the flood up in Santa Clara. I mean, it's just been a really kind of strange turn of events over at Snow Canyon. Do you feel like this team is a team that's going to rise above that, that's going to be able to deal with all these outside factors and really make something special happen, Coach?
As I've talked to some people about it, they keep kind of bringing that up, that when something really good happens, it's going to be, worth it. And I've kind of addressed it with my kids as, we don't really have a choice. We didn't choose for things to happen. We didn't choose for injuries to happen and cancer to show up and different things. And
I forgot to mention Callan Webster, who underwent surgery. I mean, there have been all kinds of things, Coach.
Yeah, and it's just something that we've got to teach them as young men that life's not going to stop for us, and we got to fight through it and do what we can and do our best and have a little faith and do our part.
One thing I've been impressed with the coaches in Southern Utah is they don't just teach their sport. You're teaching these young men about life, and certainly the life lessons learned at Snow Canyon this year are things that maybe these young guys shouldn't have to go through at such a young age, but the fact of the matter is they do have to go through them. They happened, and as you mentioned, you find out a lot about a person and a team with how they deal with that kind of thing.
I think it's really helped us with understanding perspective. Sometimes we get caught up in things that we think are really important to us, and they end up not being that important. Yeah. And I think these guys understand that, basketball is an important thing, but family is more important than that. And I think once all these kids get together, back together, and their family again, some really great things will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. We do wish the best. Callan Webster recovering from surgery. He had a little, I don't know that we want to say too much about it, but he had a mole behind his ear, and it was a pretty serious situation.
Yeah, he had melanoma. And
talked to his mom last night. Everything's clear. Things are going great. So thank goodness for that. And he'll probably be back out on the court for you when region starts, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hoping January that he'll be back and playing well like he did before he left.
Yeah. Now you have two guys. We talked about the serious knee injuries. Gabe Jensen went down. He's not back yet. You were able to get Chandler Gines back a couple of games ago. And we talked a little bit about, he was key in that win last night for you, and he'll be key as you move forward. The physical presence that Chandler brings to your team.
Yeah, he actually was cleared for our first region game against Canyon View. And that was the same night that Callan was having his surgery. And so we just kind of switched those two.
Wow.
And Chandler did a great job stepping in and filling a spot.
Although they're not necessarily the same kind of players, right?
No, they're not. Like I say, and we talked about Chandler being a physical player and certainly rebounds the basketball well and has the ability to score points in a lot of different places in a lot of different ways. And is doing a good job of leadership and encouraging the other kids to get going.
Now, if you will, talk a minute about this Red Rock Rumble, this tournament that it's changed names a time or two, but it's a big tournament we have in Southern Utah every year, and it's really a good thing, especially for the Southern Utah teams to be able to play some quality opponents.
Yeah, and it's kind of developed into a Region 9 challenge type thing.
Versus the state, yeah.
Yeah, we, a few years back, it was just us and Pineview and maybe somebody else, and And I think this year everybody's involved except for the two Cedar schools. And so it's been good to see where we kind of stand up against good competition. And we played American Fork on Wednesday night, and that's a good basketball team
yeah.
that put it all together on us, and we struggled. And so it was an opportunity for us to see, okay, what are our weaknesses? Where do we need to be? Where do we want to be? And hopefully make those adjustments.
Now, you guys got, of course, the win last night against Salem Hills. You really took them out of it early. You guys went on a big run and put them away early. Good win for you. I think you needed it confidence-wise, Coach. And then tonight you got a big one as well. You guys are batting cleanup tonight, the last game of the tournament at 8:30 p.m. over at Burns Arena. Tell us about it.
Yeah, and we're playing Northridge, a 5A school we actually went up when we played Alta and Jordan. They were in that tournament also. And we got to see them up there a little bit, and they shoot the three ball really well, run the floor and play good defense and switch things up on you. So we were fortunate last year to go up and get them at their place. And so I'm sure that's on their mind a little bit. They'd like to come back down and get us.
Now, real quick, we're about done here, but I did want to ask you about region this year. Hurricane, obviously they lost a lot of seniors. They're down right now. Dixie seems a little bit down. Who do you see as emerging from this mix right now? I mean, obviously Desert Hills is a good basketball team too.
Oh yeah, and
Cedar.
and Desert Hills is playing without one of their better guys.
Right.
Kind of like we are.
Yeah.
And so they're still winning and putting things together. And I haven't seen Cedar. I didn't see them all summer, and from what I understand, they're playing really well too. And so certainly those two are probably the front runners.
Okay, all right. Coach James Brown, the head coach of the Snow Canyon Warriors. They play tonight 8:30 against Northridge. Should be a good ball game. I'm Andy Griffin for STGNews reporting.